3 Americans freed from prison in North Korea are expected home soon. They were released after spending almost 2 years in captivity. A plane carrying the detainees, along with Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, landed in Alaska on Wednesday. Pompeo had been in North Korea for the prisoner release, as well as for the upcoming meeting preparations between President Trump and leader Kim Jongun. And for more on this, we're joined by John Merrill, who's a visiting scholar at the U.S. Korea Institute, and he joins us from Washington. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, I want to ask you, how big a diplomatic victory is this for President Trump, would you say?
It's a huge victory, and it isn't over yet. This is just the latest installment. We're going to have the main event, which is the summit between President Trump and Kim Jong-un in a matter of a few weeks. And this is a goodwill gesture in the run-up to that. And I think it means that the North Koreans are making a major effort to have things go smoothly. So it's huge.
And John, obviously, as you said, this gesture comes ahead of the talks between Trump and Kim Jong-un. And what does this say, if at all, about Kim's willingness to compromise? Well,
I think people have to reassess the young leader. There's been, at least in the United States, a lot of cynicism and even sarcasm in talking about him, but the guy has shown considerable staying power. It's been over 6 years since he took over from his father, and he seems to be making a go of it. I think the Inter-Korean Summit was a wonderful development, and what we have now is a kind of a threesome. You've got the South Korean president, you've got Kim Jong-un, and you've got Trump. And so I think Trump is getting some counsel from Moon Jae-in. And so it's a different dynamic than it's been in the past.
And John, we obviously saw what happened just 2 days ago with Trump pulling out of the Iran nuclear deal. Where does this leave confidence in U.S. diplomacy? Surely Kim Jong-il will be having second thoughts, or not?
You know, I don't think so. I think that's been that line of commentary has been overdone. We're going to have to see how this plays out. But right now, I think it's I don't want to say smooth sailing, but this clears away a major obstacle for the Trump-Kim summit, and I think it's going to be okay.
Okay, you say that that commentary has been overdone. Let's talk about the U-turn. I mean, at the beginning of the year, we were hearing rhetoric like Little Rocket Man and Fire and Fury. Yeah. And also, not just the rhetoric, but let's also talk about the prisoners. I mean, we're seeing now 3 prisoners being released as a goodwill gesture. But just last year, let's remember the case of Otto Warmbier from the University of Virginia, that undergraduate. He returned home from imprisonment in North Korea in a coma and died. And died
shortly after.
So put that into context for us. How much relations have changed between the U.S. and North Korea?
Yeah, well, hugely. But with respect to Warmbier, we don't really know what the cause of death was. There was never an autopsy performed on him. His family objected to it for religious reasons. So it remains something of a mystery. I don't think the North Koreans, as a matter of course, torture foreigners that are imprisoned. And we'll see what the people who were just brought back tonight have to say about their experiences. But I think that he wants better relations with the United States, and he's making every effort to have that happen. Now, it's going to the point now where people are talking to complete this process of denuclearization that we're going to have to maybe relocate some North Korean scientists overseas, so that because if they're left in place, they could reconstitute the program.
Let's talk
and he's
about
apparently willing to entertain that.
John, let's
He's
talk
apparently willing to entertain that possibility.
John, let's talk a bit more about that. Do you think that North Korea will denuclearize and in an irreversible form? And John, I'm just going to jump in 1 second. Sorry to interrupt you 1 second. We're just watching live pictures now of Donald Trump and his wife, Melania, arriving at the Joint Base Andrews in Maryland. Continue, please, John.
I think they're going to go a lot further than most people expect. I don't know how you can verify complete, irreversible denuclearization, but we're going to see probably fissile material removed from the country. We're going to see warheads dismantled. They've already said no more testing, no more of nuclear devices, no more long-range missile tests. So I think things are moving in a very positive direction. And I think there's a good deal of momentum that's been built up. And I just hope we can maintain that. I don't see why not.
And peace.
I think both Trump and Kim Jongun have so much riding on this that they're going to try their darndest to make it a success.
And peace between the two Koreas as well. How do you think diplomatic relations between them will proceed?
Well, things are going quite well. I think one thing that's been overlooked in all of this is the possibilities for inter-Korean economic cooperation. And apparently, in that little tete-a-tete between President Moon and Chairman Kim on the bridge up at Panmunjom, he had a little booklet that had been prepared that outlined some of the projects that could be implemented. I think a lot of infrastructure projects, ports, railways, the Kaesong industrial complex, that's going to be restarted. So there's lots of things that can be done pretty quickly once you clear away some of the underbrush of these sanctions that the North Korean economy has been laboring under all these years.
Okay, John, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your perspective and for speaking to us on TRT. That was John Merrill, visiting scholar at the U.S. Korea Institute in Washington, D.C.